Man, I miss Sonic. He's a complete joke now. Remember when he actually rivaled Mario and wasn't on Nintendo consoles? Remember how he was a well-respected video game character and not just a meme? What game do you think killed the franchise? Was it Sonic Boom, Sonic 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure, Sonic R, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Schoolhouse? Alright, I'm no Sammy Classic Sonic fan.
You frickin'
But I am a classic Sonic fan. Now, does that mean I'm a biased 3D Sonic hater? No, I love 3D Sonic. I've played tons of those games. Look, I have Sonic Generations, which is the best one according to the community. See, I also have Sonic Unleashed. This one wasn't too great actually. Let's see, I also have Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's see what else I have. Well, I did watch a ton of Let's Plays of 3D Sonic games on YouTube back in the day, so I'm basically an expert. So, how would I bring Sonic back to his former glory? Well, I'd start by releasing a good 3D Sonic game. Sonic almost made a comeback in 2018. They released Sonic Mania in August of that year. This game is amazing. It easily restored my faith in the franchise, so much so that I was honestly hyped for Sonic Forces. I thought, man, if they put something like Sonic Mania out, Sega clearly listened to the fans and fixed 3D Sonic 2. Oh, how foolish I was. I watched a few gameplay videos of Sonic Forces a week or so after it was released, and I was disappointed. It was just another run in a straight line and occasionally jump 3D Sonic. The problem with this kind of Sonic game is that it's way too linear and automated. It's not engaging when the game plays itself with all the springs and boosters. Then when the game does let you play, you aren't even doing much. If I wanted to play something requiring such little interaction like that, I'd play a turn-based RPG. Now, here's the reason 3D Sonic games are linear and automated. Sonic's too fast. When something moves really fast, it's hard for it to turn. When you're driving on a freeway at 70 miles per hour, you don't spin the wheel 90 degrees to change lanes. You turn it maybe 10 degrees. That's what we're doing with Sonic in these linear levels, lightly steering him. You can't make a sharp turn when Sonic's moving fast, you lose control of him. Sonic's supposed to be fast, and because he's fast, he's harder to control, leading to insanely linear levels that almost play themselves. Sounds like there's no way to fix this, but I do have one solution. Slow him down. But Sonic's supposed to be the fastest thing alive! I mean, yeah, but slowing him down won't change much. He won't be Sub-Sonic the Hedgehog if we decrease his speed. He'd still be faster than Mario. Look, Sonic isn't even that fast in the 2D games. He can get pretty fast at times, but he's at a generally decent speed for the majority of the playthroughs. Let's take a look at Sky Sanctuary Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. When you look at the whole layout, it almost seems like a standard platformer level. If you threw Mario in it, it would probably still be a decent level to play through. Basically, the 2D games are almost built like standard platformers, and Sonic is able to get through these because he has a stabler speed. If we slow down 3D Sonic, we'll be able to make his levels more akin to standard 3D platformer levels. I was going to talk about the Sonic Adventure games, and how their levels are the least linear of the 3D Sonics, but I've come to realize that's not the case. They're just as linear as the rest. There are long, empty paths with boosters every 5 feet, spring chains, and other stuff like rail grinding, homing attacks, and lightspeed ring paths. The levels are pretty linear, and Sega just added different ways to automate them. The only level that actually seems decent to me is the Green Hill Zone bonus stage in Sonic Adventure 2. There are only 2 instances where the level is actually automated. The one thing the adventure games do better than the other 3D Sonics, however, is the physics. There's a certain smoothness to Sonic's movement that I can't really explain. But anyway, like I said before, 3D Sonic levels are linear and automated because Sonic is fast. If he's slower, levels can be more unique. Honestly, the only 3D Sonic game I can think of with great physics is the Sonic Pack from LEGO Dimensions, which isn't even an actual Sonic game. Look how he runs. It's like they threw 2D Sonic into a 3D environment. Slow startup, his maximum speed isn't too fast, and he has that smoothness like he does in the adventure games. The hub world, Sonic Adventure World, is good for showing off Sonic's maneuverability. If Sega could make multiple levels using this area as a reference while keeping the good physics, we'd have a great 3D Sonic game. So yeah, just make the levels more like standard 3D platformers and limit the automation. That combined with a slower Sonic would make for a great 3D Sonic game. Try to follow the LEGO Dimensions Sonic Pack and you should be fine. Sega could even try to make an open-world Sonic game, something like Sonic Utopia or Green Hill Paradise. These areas are massive, so there's enough room to compensate for Sonic's speed. So that's how I'd fix the gameplay aspect of 3D Sonic games. Modern Sonic games also need better stories. I mean, the concepts are alright, but the execution isn't. Take Sonic Forces for example. The world is in turmoil because Eggman finally won. That's a good concept, considering Eggman never wins. It's a serious story, but they screw up so many little things that I can't actually take it seriously. Here are a few examples. A little after Sonic gets imprisoned, the Resistance locates him, and Knuckles tells us the enemies have been torturing Sonic for months.
They've been torturing him for months.
But the next time we see Sonic in a cutscene, he's perfectly fine, cracking jokes and acting his usual self.
Oh hey, sounds like the party started. Wanna let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun.
One of the villains Infinite brought back was Chaos, but he gets bonked by classic Sonic at the very beginning of the game, and is never seen again. Why did they get rid of him so soon? Knuckles also said Tails went insane, but in this same cutscene with classic Sonic, Tails is perfectly fine. Then we have Infinite himself. What's his origin story? Why is he evil? Well, it's because Shadow said he was weak.
He's calling me weak. No, I am not weak. I'm not weak. I am not weak.
What a joke. Then there's that segment where Eggman sends Sonic and your original character into null space, which is supposed to be serious, but you get out of there 2 seconds later. Similar stuff like this is present in other modern Sonic games, like Tails being turned into a brainwashed cyborg in Lost World, Sonic's occasionally cringy dialogue in Colors, Elise kissing Sonic in 06, Shadow using guns, and so on. So yeah, modern Sonic stories don't really work, and it's mostly because the writers seemingly don't know what they want. Another issue with the Sonic franchise is that— Hey guys, quick edit here. At this point, I was gonna complain about how there are too many characters in the Sonic franchise. I think it was a dumb point to bring up, mostly because it doesn't affect the quality of the games in any way. And there really aren't that many characters in the franchise. I just think most of them are unnecessary. Like, who the hell cares about the Chaotix? So I'm deciding to not include that portion of the video in here anymore. Why am I bringing this up? I could have easily cut out this portion of the recording without you guys knowing. Well, it would seem rather weird to suddenly go from talking about narrative to a completely different topic without a proper transition. So I'm kind of obligated to include an edit here. Anyway, back to the video. One character I personally don't like much is Eggman. He's too much of a goofball. In the classic Sonic games, he was kind of goofy, but that was just because of his design and animations. Robotnik wasn't screwing around in these games. He wanted Sonic dead. Modern Sonic Eggman is just—
I've been working on a master plan, but now it's time to put it to work!
Look, it's a giant talking egg.
He's not gonna get away with this!
I don't really know what else to say about modern Sonic. He's really the only reason the franchise is a joke. I think if Sega stuck to making 2D Sonic games these past few years, the franchise would have a better standing. But I'm sure people would be begging for a 3D Sonic at some point, and we'd inevitably reach the same point the Sonic franchise is in now. This is how I envision a perfect Sonic future. Modern Sonic is fixed, classic Sonic games are still being made, Sonic Rush 3 is eventually developed, they're no longer making those crappy Olympics games, and Sonic's reputation is restored. The only problem is, I don't think it'll ever be that way. Sonic's been bad for far too long. There's no way to recover at this point. I mean, this happened, and this happened. How can anyone expect a franchise to recover after so many failures? It's just not possible. I miss Sonic. As much as I'd love to see him make a proper comeback, I just can't see it happening.